Welcome to Inner Architecture Academy podcast. Today, me, Marta, and Beata will talk about dark feminine energy and the myth of magnetism. Beata, welcome. Great to
Welcome.
see you again. Again, you are the expert on the subject. So,
You have decided that. Okay.
yeah,
So
I'm just putting everything on you.
you put in on me. Yes,
I will
today's
be
topic.
asking questions. You can answer. No, this is going to be a conversation. But yes, you have more knowledge about it. So I'm very curious.
Yeah, I don't know if I do have more knowledge, but I have my strong opinion and feeling about the dark feminine energy. And today's topic is maybe very confronting for those of you who are feeling the pull towards dark feminine energy. And we are not here to judge anyone, because this is something that we just want to go with free flow, just feel the words behind, or the energy behind our words, and make the difference, just feel what's in there for you, because this is such a big topic right now. You hear it everywhere. You see a lot of women on the internet using dark feminine to create wealth, to generate some income. But is this really clean, or is this another trick? So we're gonna discuss this today, and maybe let's say that dark feminine in itself, it's not problem, but I think the problem is that behind all of it, in my opinion, there is a wounded architecture asking this dark feminine language to maybe justify control, seduction, extraction, and because you are not creating but extracting. And this is, for me, in my opinion, ego-based manifestation. So I don't know how are you thinking about this, Marta, but this will be the direction to go and talk about this topic, and the dynamics, the psychology, but also the hidden architecture of it. Do you agree?
Hmm. Yeah, I never really gave it such a deep thoughts, I mainly just concentrate on my life and how I want to do things. And I tend to not judge other people, but this is subject that we mentioned a few times before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually very curious about the structure without it. Because sometimes, I say I don't know about things, but I do know. I just don't know that I know. So dark feminism is one of those things that I haven't really dug deep into. But
Mm.
of course, it shows up. It must have showed up in my life as well, and maybe in myself, without me realizing about it. And maybe this is something, for our audience too, because sometimes we go through the situation, but we don't really think much about them until later on in life, when maybe they show up again. So, what do we actually mean by dark feminism?
Dark feminine energy, and that's, women who try to use being magnetic to generate wealth. But it is not that simple, because the question might not be if dark feminine energy is powerful, because it might be. You see a lot of women who are seems to be very magnetic, very wealthy as well. But the question is, who is holding the original, who is holding, this situation? Is this your original self? Like, are you doing this from your wholeness, or is this a piece of you that is trying to hide behind this empowerment, this dark energy, manipulation, I don't know, to be magnetic, to just generate something before you can heal a lot of aspects of yourself? So the question is, from which place you are trying to step out and become magnetic? become, because I have this image of those women who are with dark feminine energy. They tend to be very beautiful, and they tend to be also well educated. This is not something that you would see in I don't know how to even call it. Those women are sophisticated. But unfortunately, in my opinion, they are hiding a lot of aspects and using it's like a shortcut to create something, definitely from a scarcity mind, from shortages, and become powerful by manipulating something outside of yourself. Because why would you like to become magnetic, powerful, mystic? This is another cover up for something. Because I think this is most of all performance. It feels like this for me. So, did I answer your question with this, or?
I have a feeling that this is going to be a very controversial podcast because there's a lot of things coming up when you say it.
And it's not to criticize anyone, because this is very attractive. You can almost see the pull, like, wow, dark feminine energy. Let's utilize this power of manifestations, this magnetism, to generate something. But if you dive deeper into it, it might not be this what you think it is. So it's rather manipulation than embodiment of something, because you are feminine, but how much feminine you need to be to gain something, and how are you going to do this? So those are very mature questions, but maybe, let's dive into it so it doesn't sound too abstract, but maybe we can give an idea of few things. Because how do you perceive it if you hear somebody being, using dark feminine energy to create business? What is the energy you are perceiving behind this?
What's coming for me is because we as women, we can use our beauty, our figure, our attributes to attract, to attract men, to attract money, to attract the things that we want in life. So this is it, isn't it? Like, what's behind it?
Yeah, and I think that this is form of manipulation, which is the baseline is that you are trying to get something from outside of yourself, because you don't believe that that wealth is your natural state, and you are extracting things. And you do this in order to feel safe, because we want money to feel safe, we want a relationship to feel safe, whatever it is. If you are creating this energy to make yourself safe in any way, it's never, the bottom line is always not being in your power, and not power like manipulative power, but not believing that there is this infinite energy from which you can extract, but then you are just going and trying to make something or someone or responsible for your well-being. This is form of control in a way, in my opinion.
I'm thinking about the way to put it kind of in a way, because not every beautiful woman is using the feminine, the dark feminine energy to attract. So I don't want our audience to think that we say like every beautiful woman does it, because not everyone, and there's nothing wrong with being beautiful and using your female attributes. It's just the energy behind it. What are you wanting to attract? Which place are you coming from? Whether you're coming from lack and you
Yeah.
want to extract from the other person or from other people, or you are just being yourself, being this beautiful woman, with all the attributes, and you are just there attracting from the place of love, from the
Yeah.
place of love for yourself, because you want to, the things that you offer
Mm-hmm.
are coming from you because you want to do good. And I think, maybe the difference is, when you're coming from this energy of love, you don't really talk about other people, you don't judge other people. Whether when you're coming from the dark energy, there's always like judgment. There's talking about people. What? Yeah, like, like this kind of like words, like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna let, like, I'm better than other people. I'm better than men.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going with this, like, I'm this amazing, powerful woman, and I'm not gonna let any little man near me, kind of thing.
Yeah, so basically what you are saying is that the real magnetism is not the art of making people want you, but real magnetism is coherence. That you are attracting things from your whole essence and you operating from very different level without seducing people into something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And also not talking about other people in any like minimizing way. Like, calling men bad or calling other women bad, or, like, I don't know, I don't want to use too bad words, but
Yeah, and maybe if you look into the mechanics of it, I think that many women who are attracted to dark feminine energy, this concept, they are maybe tired also somehow of being the good girl and always pleasing and always doing things. So probably they are overgiving and they have certain areas in their life where they feel that they have given so much. So maybe they need some strategy to become the counterpart of what they're doing. And it sounds so attractive to attract something effortless because you deserve it. So I can really understand why we are falling for this, because this might be like this big relief, like, okay, so I feel so powerless, so I need to empower myself, I want control. And I can see some women going out there and they were abandoned somehow, so now they become really like unavailable. This mysterious woman who've got the look and she's really hard to get. She knows what she wants, right? And also unseen woman, they might want to become unforgettable because this is something really magnetic. So you make the image of somebody who is very difficult to be forgotten. It gives you kind of attention, right?
mm,
So there is like a lot of wounds basically behind this, I think, and it's very attractive to take the shortcut and go and perform. Right? So like this good girl who was always pleasing, she can hide behind the mask like I am hard to get. I am pretty dangerous woman, so I know what I want. And this is the energy that you are, this is like another dress you are willing to wear to do not feel that fragile anymore as well. So actually, this is maybe even the way that we are trying out things to become better versions of ourselves with less effort, which is, of course, I can understand it, because we as women, we've got such a hard way of receiving things and going for. There is even nowadays, I think that men is earning much more money for the same jobs than women still. So at some point, we try out things, and dark feminine is one of them. We attract things, and there are a lot of women, because it might work, but that's the problem. It might look so attractive from the outside, but if you are brave enough to feel the energy behind this, is this clean energy, or you are seducing people to do something? Are you using your power to create something real from, like, I don't know, this infinite energy, or you are just extracting things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, can you feel me in this one?
I can, yeah. So it's basically just the energy behind it, the reason where you coming from. And
Yeah,
this is,
because
such a new subject, as you said, because I think that the feminine, the feminine is just awakening now. And there's a lot of information coming out online, yes, with this dark feminine energy, with the magnetism, how to be feminine,
Mhm.
what do you need to do, not to be too masculine, not to be too feminine, not to be this, not to be that. And there's a bit of I want to say war to for maybe not war, but women are struggling to be who they are, because on one side it's yes, you need to be this powerful woman, you need to
Mhm.
go and get it, you deserve everything, don't let men hurt you anymore, they don't deserve you. On the other side is, oh, you need to be feminine and nice and floaty because you're not gonna attract anything. So I see two versions of this.
Yeah, of course, because I think that's the very essence of it, because we've got such a long journey. We are just tired of struggle. So, dark feminine is another way, maybe, to try out new things. And I think there are certain dynamics, like, for example, I'm suppose the unchosen woman, somebody who was always struggling with being selected, prioritized, or protected. She might just use this dark feminine to become like the person that nobody can ignore. And it's much easier to perform strength when where you are performing it, because become really resilient. It's much longer journey than to play a role of something that you are not, but from the outside you make the statement.
Yeah.
And this is okay. I am not criticizing this woman, because sometimes I felt vulnerable for years. So I used to always from the outside look much stronger than I am, because I was really so scared of a lot of situations that I make myself bigger. That's in a way also having a role. I didn't felt strong, but from outside I was very confident. So in a way it's just the same things pretending,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is this podcast is not to judge anyone, it's just to have this conversation, even for ourselves, because I also see that when we talk about it, I don't really want to, sometimes I don't want to read about stuff and get knowledge from somebody else, because I want to feel it for myself, whether it feels right or not. So these conversations actually, I don't know, help me with understanding myself, and this word that is a little bit different word to me,
Mhm.
because before I was myself, I was putting mask on, when you met me first time, you saw me on the stage as this, I had a bit more muscle because I was training so hard, and but you saw inside that little girl that was
Yeah.
scared. So I would use my appearance, I would train hard, I trained Krav Maga, and I thought I was being strong, but inside I wasn't. So it was a mask. And the same was when I was at work. Even when I worked in the bars, uh, when I started working in the bar, the manager told me, you need to, my first manager told me that you need to put the mask on when you are coming
Mhm.
to work, because you always need to smile. So I learned to put the mask on, to
Yeah.
always be smiling, outside of work. So for me, there's a lot of conflict sometimes of who I am or what is the mask. And
Yeah,
it's the
that's the
same,
polarity.
it's the
Yeah.
same with the feminine energy. Because sometimes, I hear, oh, this is too masculine. What you do is too masculine. Um, but then I'm like, is it? And now it's the dark energy. And I'm like, am I using the dark energy, feminine energy? So it's all like, like basically, for me to be my true authentic self, it's to be who I want to be, who I feel like I want to be,
Yeah,
without
but
taking
that's the essence. Yeah, that's the essence,
anything
because
on.
maybe we are not really feeling free to be who we are. And, or maybe we just believe that being yourself is not enough. So in order to gain something, you need to pretend to be something or somebody who, according to your image, will be the person. So this is the dark feminine, because, we all are lacking some aspects maybe. And then we think if we become this dark feminine
Mm.
energy, very confident, it's going to be much easier to have all of those things that will give me the ease. Because after all, I think we all are searching for easy life, like having enough, being able to have a rest, and that people just stop chasing you for, you needing to compensate, overgive, performing. So maybe this is a way of, generate something in order to hide our vulnerability. And, you know, we are all of it. And according to a lot of cultures, we have mentioned this a little bit, like you have those three types of Madonna, right? And you can find this in the Slavic cultures, but also the shamanic cultures. And they are having those three Madonnas. So basically, one woman is three Madonnas. When you are born, you are very full of light and connected to the source very much. So they call you like the white Madonna. You are just the embodiment, the essence of your God spark. And there comes a moment when woman becomes mature. We have this menstrual cycle, so they call us at this stage the red Madonna. This is very beautiful period where we are very creative. We give birth to our ideas, identities, children, like this is very beautiful moment where we explore. This is like no limits. You can create and create and create. So you are learning, exploring, creating, and giving like identity to your expression. Then at certain point, and this is by the women who are having the menopause, you become the black Madonna, and it means that you are really you are the embodiment of your eternal internal wisdom, which you are just embodying. You don't search outside anymore. You are soaked with so much knowledge, experience, because the Red Madonna has shown you all. You have been there, you explored everything. And now you are just embodying this knowledge for yourself, for other people. Like those are the shamans, with all this wisdom. So there is the beauty to each state. And I think if we will be free to explore each stages of our life, of embodiment of everything we are, in freedom, in appreciation, there will be no manipulation, but also no limit. But right now we are so bombarded with what we need to be, who we need to become, the hundreds models, how to earn money. We just lose this essence, who we are and what we are coming here to do. And we don't, most of all, I think, we do not feel safe to be ourselves, but also it's like, how can you survive in this reality? Everything costs money, relationships are demanding. So maybe we are trying to take the shortcut and embody something, like those. Can you remember this movie Secret? It makes like, I don't know how many millions, because people were really like, oh, The Secret, we need to learn how to manifest those things. And none of those teachings were really workable because not many people became millionaires. But it shows the dynamics behind that we are willing to, have this wealth to feel free, to be able to have something, that you just can be yourself and create and explore, because there is so much to do. How much time of your life you are really having free to spend on things just to be yourself, discover the beauty in ease and the joyfulness. So maybe behind all of this is this yearning for just having enough of everything. Appreciation doesn't matter for who, we have different desires, but I think the bottom line is we all want to be loved, appreciated, and secured that you're not going to be kicked out of the tribe.
Hmm. Yeah, I sort of feel like like it feels like it's a survival mechanism as well.
Yeah,
Uh, because I feel like, the true, like, divine magnetism, it's in your authenticity.
yeah,
So, and that doesn't need to shout. It's like with intuition and fear. The intuition is very quiet. It doesn't shout.
yeah.
It's peaceful. You only hear it in silence. And the fear is loud. So I think we can use this analogy to apply it to the feminine energy as well. Because if you need to shout, if you need to be aggressive, if you need to show off, that's coming from fear. But if you feel grounded in yourself, if you feel grounded in your feminine, you don't
Mm.
need to prove anything.
Yeah, and we are all hiding behind some masks because if you look at all those dynamics from through behavioral profiling and influence lens, so the question becomes really actually very practical. What need is being activated by
Mm.
behaving in certain way? What fear is being hidden? What mask are you wearing at this moment, because we are all having the mask and we are trying to hide something. Or what reward is being promised, because you do something for certain reason, you want some cause and effect, right?
Yeah, and it's not something bad because we all, like you said, we all trying to survive in this
Mm,
world. And we are not feeling safe in the stillness because this world is created to push, like the system, it taught me that,
yeah.
I need to push, I need to work harder, I
Mm,
need to do more. So I don't feel, well, I'm learning to feel safe in the stillness, but there are some days when I feel like I'm not enough. Like, I haven't done enough. I need to do more. I need to push harder. I need to show myself, that's where I'm putting the masks on. I need to show myself like this strong Marta that she's not going to allow anyone to hurt her again, blah, blah, blah. Because I feel like, because I don't feel safe, that's when this comes out.
mm.
But when I feel safe in who I am and I trust that I'm in the right place at the right time, I feel calm. Like I don't need to shout. Like I don't need to say these words to prove to the world to see, I don't feel the need for the world to see me strong because I feel strong inside.
Yeah, so what if all of this, this whole idea about dark feminine, what if this is just a mirror and a person doing this is just mirroring the needs and the desires? So if you just project the strength, maybe you are not that strong and you would love people to hold you.
Yeah.
And this manipulation that we try to put out, why you manipulate? Because you are lacking those things. So wouldn't it be easier to just show up as you are and say like, listen, I don't feel very strong and I don't know how to navigate through this reality. Can you please hold me right now? Or maybe you have some good piece of advice, because
Yeah,
I
but
feel like,
that's not attractive in this world.
yeah, but it will be much easier because if everything is mirror, it works both ways. The person who is manipulating is mirroring something, but also the perceiver of this person, if you see certain dynamics and you see what you see, is also a mirror, because you cannot see something that you are not projecting. So if we're gonna judge those people, probably you might be even jealousy, why you are jealous, what are you projecting, what are you thinking lacking in your reality that you are having certain thoughts about certain person or situation. So it goes
Mm.
both ways, right?
Yeah. Like, we're not here to judge anyone. We're just here to understand.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, but like, yeah, this is not attractive. Being calm, grounded in your presence, it's not attractive because it's not flashing. And like in this world, you need flashes to get attention. Even when you go on social media, if you put a video that is calm, it doesn't attract people. You need to go bam. Even though, it makes me laugh sometimes because even people that talk about calm nervous system, they put videos on social media that are so fast that I mean, I have calmed down my nervous system. So anything like this shows up, I go past through it because I physically, I can't watch it anymore because this urgency, it's already, it triggers like, the anxiety, I think, in me.
Yeah,
So, so for me, I spent last 2 years or so calming my nervous system down. And I don't want to see that anymore. And I know that when I do my video, it's soft, it's slow, I speak slowly, and I don't get a lot of views. But if I'm talking about regulating nervous system, I'm not gonna put in a video that it's even, I did before, but I didn't realize that until, some point, maybe until even now. That's not that it's a contradiction.
so I think the bottom line is just be authentic. If you feel like this way and you do it according to your, if you are doing this from the coherence, that's the way for you to do it. But I've got this good laugh because,
But
you
it's
were
not gonna
mentioning,
make me money quickly, Beata.
the videos, and I have seen something very funny, so funny that it was actually brilliant. There was like this fast reel, and there was a guy saying like, listen, we've got this beautiful honey, and they are about to destroy the whole batch. So you've got this attention, and I was watching like, why, and he said like, look, this is beautiful honey from the bees that are,
Himalayan bees.
for example, and it's really natural. And this is not true that they're gonna destroy this honey, but if I will be not dramatizing this, you will be not watching until now. But this is healthy honey. We do everything in a beautiful way, even the labels we produce ourselves. So if you want to taste real honey, we are here. But it was so brilliant because he said like, I did use this trick because if I will be acting normal, you will be not watching this reel, but we've got such a big product, so I seduced you by this phrase of destruction. And it was really funny because it was like a normal guy, beautiful person, just having healthy honey, and he discovered the dynamics behind this. So yeah, it was really like visible seduction, and he mentioned this. So I was really, really appreciating this reel. But yeah, I think that we are at this threshold as collective that we are also able to feel that something might be very hollow, very empty behind the scenes. And even if you try to seduce someone with something which isn't actually truth, like you go there and you put some performance, it might work for a little short period of time, but people eventually they are going to feel that there is no depth. So my invitation is always, what are you willing to put out there? What is your drive to become visible, to interact with other people? Are you being authentic and you showing up from the place of coherence, or you are trying to manipulate the field because you are willing that people give you the money for the bills or whatever, because I think right now there is so much information, so much noise. We don't need another person with performance. The authenticity is always the best way to show up, because if we do not resonate with each other, it's also beautiful because, you know, you are not for everyone, Marta, me as well. And if you just go there and be authentic and find your tribe, it will be much more sustainable than dark feminine, you know, seducing, showing up as the goddess. And, you know, even the goddess needs to shave her legs and going to the toilet and doing poo. So, I mean, right? Let's be authentic because we are all human. And I think our contribution into this big whole is
I'm a
stay
queen,
authentic.
by the way, you know.
Sorry?
I'm a queen. I did even a free ebook, Awaken the Queen Within, some time ago. So, you know.
Yeah.
So from now on, Beata, refer to me as Queen Marta, please.
Queen Marta, so what do you think about the ego-based manifestation?
What's that?
And you know, maybe it's nice to mention also that everything needs to be balanced in this reality because we have this magnetism, but there is also an electric counterpart, and you need both the feminine and the masculine, and they need to be really in the great opposition that is enriching each other because you know those are currents. You cannot manifest anything in this reality without being electric. So you
Mm.
can be the queen of magnetism, but in order to have a child, you need a male, right? Otherwise, you cannot conceive
Well,
something.
not
So
necessarily. These days you can do anything.
yeah, but still, you need, you know, the Simon from a man, even if you do not have sexual interaction. Still, it's not gonna happen in thin air, right?
No.
Maybe some stories in the Bible, but you know what I mean? You need to have both. So this is maybe the beauty also that this reality make us a little bit not depending on each other, but there is a space for co-creation. You are always needing something from outside to manifest something, not the dependency, but co-creation.
Hmm.
The male and the female, and there are so much such a beautiful qualities in the opposites if we just learn how to co-create in this reality, if we can balance all of those energies and not try to dominate someone or gain something or manipulate, because we have done so many, I don't know, eons of those dynamics. So I think this is like a big window of opportunity to become very balanced in yourself, coherent, and just enjoy the beauty of something opposite, because there is opportunity to learn, to expand if you see different things than just your own projections, right?
Yeah, so in a way we need both energies. We need the dark and feminine and the what you call it, white feminine. But it's
I don't
what's
know.
the
I do not
opposite?
have the name for it. You know, dark feminine. It's also it's big BS. Those are hurt women who are trying to manipulate something into being. But woman, you are beautiful enough and powerful if you just become yourself and not trying to extract but emanate something from inside towards the field. You will be discovering much more different things, the organic creation as I call it, where you are plugging into the infinite energy instead of the finite reality where we are just repeating the hamster wheel and extracting the horizontal plane. But I think in the horizontal plane everything is already being abused, and you know we extract everything from something else. Maybe it's just the time to plug to something much bigger, much more expand, and just create things from the alignment, from the coherence,
Hmm.
from the inner essence. Because I think they might be just the perfect things for each situation, for each phase of our development. You know, there is always the need for renewing, refreshing, and I don't think we're gonna find this by copy things, by manipulate things, extracting things. It's just time to open up for the brilliance, which is maybe much more organic than just the scarcity mindset, the wound, the wounded child. You know, it's maybe time to stop performing, but really exploring who we are in essence.
Really like look into it ourselves, really, rather than just look on the outside, because that's where the answers are. And I think it's up to every person to have the awareness of it. And well, the thing is, everybody does the best they can. They
Yeah.
believe, they believe what everybody believes what they believe. I don't think um, there is really right or wrong. But it's up to every individual to look into themselves to see
Yeah.
where they actually are coming from, and have the awareness.
Yeah, and maybe there are some questions you can ask yourself before adapting sets of ideas, ideologies like the dark feminine. Maybe it's always good idea to just pause and ask from which place you are coming. Are you willing to put some power over the field, like being empowered, or you are just telling the truth about the field? Are you willing to be irresistible, or you are contributing to something greater? Because, I think control is one of those big clues that will give you the idea from which place you are coming. Control is always manipulative. You will be always going and trying to manipulate the field, control the people, the situations in order to make things happen. And this is never a good place to navigate from, because control, it's very limited. You're always going to feel powerless, because if somebody does something you didn't count on, you lose your power, and this is pretty dangerous game,
And it's
right?
also, such a deep subject, because everybody have their own beliefs. And,
Mhm.
even Hitler, he believed that what he was doing was right. So,
Yeah.
so like, how do you, we can say it from our side, but like, who are we to decide what's wrong, what's right for someone who believes that is doing the right thing?
Yeah, but for who is this? Is this for the great situation of us all, or are you gaining? Who is the one gaining from the situation? Because I think deep down people really know where they are gaining something from the egoistic reasons, and it's nothing wrong with the ego, it's your identity. But if you are selfish and in a way that you are just thinking about yourself and do not care what the consequences are of your doing, then ask yourself the question, really, from which place you are navigating.
Hmm. Such a deep subject, but it's so deep. Because it's like, yeah, some, like, I don't even know how to put that question together, but it has opened something up more in me. So I think I'm just gonna have to take some time to digest it.
Yeah.
Because it is deep, it's like we are actually going to the core of the existence.
Yeah. And I think, the goal of this all is maybe not to reject this dark feminine energy, but to mature it into being. I think that's really, I can feel this one in my body landing, dropping, like mature yourself. Because then you're going to know, just plug into the wisdom, mature yourself, because mature means something different than blindly going for something by manipulation. And ask yourself if your magnetism means that you are coherent or you are producing the chaos in the field. Or you may be trying to manifest something because you think you do not have enough, or you are just creating from different place, from the joyfulness of being alive. It's also different place, right?
Yeah, but it's so hard, because in a way we always manipulate at some point, at some level.
Yeah, but you know, I think deep down we all know that all of those things are not really true. And we are willing to have this lightness. Everything that you are performing is costing you a lot of energy. So, in the end of the day, I think if you are performing, it's gonna drain you. It cannot be the other way because things that are in alignment are much more mature, much more, they are carrying you. It's different way of using your energy than performing and going by the will of power of will. Can you feel the difference?
I can feel the difference. And this is my, well, it's not my dilemma because I know who I am,
Mm-hmm.
and how I want to live this life. Because,
Yeah.
I could use a lot of those techniques because I am aware of them, but I just choose not to. And I don't know where it's going to take me um, because nobody can tell me, because I'm following myself. Like I'm following my own path. I've learned a lot of strategies. I've learned a lot of stuff. I've paid so much money for coaching and I don't
Mhm.
follow. And I don't know, sometimes I'm thinking like whether it's my stupidity, is it my laziness? What is it? But something inside, you know, there's like something stronger in me that doesn't let me do it.
Yeah, and that's the
Like
question,
n-
from which place we are navigating. And you are a person who is very aware of your field, of your actions, of the energy behind this. And you are really someone who is recognizing the body signals if they are coming from survival or are really the insights from something much more deeper. But maybe not everyone is at this stage. And this is something to discover by yourself. Just before you make any decision, maybe just drop down into your body and take the moment to feel from which place you are navigating. Are you being in the now and you are perceiving the situation from the whole of you? Or you are going and being about to react from tiny piece of yourself who might happen be this 5 years old Marta, who was dumped by mama, I don't know. Because if that's the case, you always gonna use the strategies to manipulate something because you do not feel safe. But if you are making decisions and they are really resonating on the deeper level, sometimes those things might scare you because they might be bigger than you are at this moment, but it will be much different than acting from wounded self, right?
mm, yeah. And yeah, as you said, I am very aware. And like, as I told you earlier on, that I think sometimes I feel like like, I am farther in my evolution, if I can say it like that, then my brain follows. Because I do a lot of things intuitively, and only later I realize, like, then my brain catches up
And maybe that's a good thing
in a
because our
way.
brain is always fired to defend the wounded identity, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's maybe nice to say that you are not wrong if you are trying out the dark feminine, but just be mindful not to go to distorted energy because you will be creating a lot of chaos. And in the end of the day, this manifestation will be not clean. So it will cost you energy in one way or another. But let's encourage each other to, just show up as we are because the richness is in diversity.
Yeah. And well, at least for me, I don't know if it's for everyone like this. For me, like the most important thing is to uncover all the layers of conditioning, of programming, to come to my core self. So I think this is like the purpose of my life.
Yeah.
So, things started with me by chasing money, chasing career, speaking on stages. But now I'm kind of like, I don't care about this anymore. I just want to live
Hmm.
like,
You might become the Black Madonna, not searching outside anymore.
yeah, exactly. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe I will still do it. I don't know how the life will take me, but I don't have the need to chase this fame anymore. I don't have the need to chase approval from people. I just
Yeah.
want to, I just like, I had I think I spoke about it in the previous episode that I had a last session with my coach. And he said, like, so what have you learned about your power during those sessions? And I said that, the power is to be me. And this
Yeah.
is, and I think this is what I want. Like, I want to uncover, I want to release those patterns, those traumas, those conditioning to see who I really am underneath all of it.
Yeah, and
And
that's a
this is what I
beautiful
want to do.
journey.
And I can only achieve that through experiencing things,
Yes.
through meeting people.
Yeah, but also to drop in the scaffoldings, those layers of conditioning which are needed, if you come here as a baby into a family, they're gonna learn you how to navigate through this reality. And a lot of those things are not true, but they worked back then. So, if you become really aware of all of it, that nobody was there to make you wrong or seduce you into so that you not see this reality, but everyone really accomplished something really great to prepare you for the living here, being able to navigate. But you must not stay with those things forever. It's on us to explore this reality. And I think the inner reality is much more richer than the earth can be ever. So just explore all those possibilities and stretch your boundaries in what you are believing, because we are such a great, powerful beings. We can do beautiful things, but they're not gonna happen if you are not believing in yourself, if you are not knowing yourself, if you are not willing to meet the part who is able, right?
Yeah, for me now I'm stretching my boundaries, but by staying calm and in silence and peaceful. This is actually stretching boundaries for me now. Because, like I can push myself. I can already push myself hard to do hard things. But for me now, the challenge is
Slow down.
to slow down. Even like, I thought I have been slowing down over the last 2 years, but it's like I feel like I need to even slow down more.
Maybe
And it does,
soak
and
in
it
your own wisdom. This is also a way of slowing down. It's just not searching outside anymore, but just contemplate and feel what's already inside.
yeah.
It's a
And
different way
that's
of
what I've
slowing
been
down.
doing. Like, I haven't read a book in 2 years because I have this feeling that I don't want to consume the knowledge from the outside in the more anymore. Like at least not at this point. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to feel it in my body. Like, I have been doing things intuitively. And then, you have a little bit more kind of like academic knowledge, you know better how to put it into the world, into the words. Whereas I feel it like in a real life. I go through the motion in the real life and I kind
Mm-hmm.
of like navigate through it with my inner compass. And sometimes, I don't have the language to call it. Then, you have a little bit more kind of like, you speak better, you can name it better than me. And I just
But
lost the
I
plot.
think what I'm
Uh,
just having this insight, like, we are tending to put labels and names on everything. And even if we have profound spiritual experience, we want to put this right away into words. But I think if you are able to put something into words, this is not something new for your system because you already know how to name it. The magic is when we are not able to name something because this is something outside of your referential cadre. So basically, this is good sign if you do not have words for something because there aren't any at this stage. And then you can also sense that there is something happening what probably needs the time to land it before you can name
Yeah.
it. And that's a
Yeah.
good thing because we are,
That
right?
Yeah, that's how I say it, that, I will do things and only a little bit later, my brain kind of like, the logical part of me catches up with it. And I'm like, okay. Or, we will have a conversation. And I was like, so that's what happened 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the beauty is also in not knowing, but we are so conditioned that we all
We,
think we need to know and justify, and otherwise you are dumb.
yeah, that's, this is our brain's job, isn't it? Like it wants to know, it needs to know to feel safe.
To make something of it
But
familiar,
yeah,
you
to
know.
live in a place where you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, there's a beauty in it because you teach yourself to live in the present moment, because you don't want to know, you don't even want to think what can happen tomorrow, because the brain will give you all the bad scenarios.
And I think
So
right now it's not
so you kind of
possible
like,
even.
you
We,
force yourself.
yeah.
So you teach yourself to stay in a present moment.
Hmm.
And like in present moment, like you are safe, unless you are not, of course, depending on the situation. But if I'm sitting here in the present moment, I'm safe. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. My brain will give me, the worst case scenarios. But like, I don't know, but what if the best thing happened tomorrow? So it's like, I train myself to stay here, to be here.
The power is in the now. It's actually only what exists is the current
Yeah.
moment. There is no past. There is no future. The only thing that there is current moment, and this is the power, because in a current moment there are no traumas, there are no stories. It's just reality. It's
Yeah.
like blank
Like
page.
Eckhart Tolle says, I never read his book either, The Power of Now.
You're right. Yeah, the power of now, and he's right. There
Yeah.
is this is the most powerful moment is now.
Yeah, I saw his, like there was a title on the YouTube that, if you want to be happy, stop thinking. And this is so true. But it's not, I'm not saying that, I'm in the present moment all the time, because, when I'm in the present moment, it's great. But then, so, it takes
Practice.
maybe a lifetime to practice it. I don't know. But yeah, so from dark feminine to the present moment.
Yeah, and maybe to wrap up, I
Yeah.
would say, woman, do not pretend to be a goddess who is dark and magnetic. Just become that which you are willing to attract into your reality, because you cannot hold anything you are not. So this is the invitation to go deep down yourself and see, take the responsibility also for your action. And before you go and perform, ask yourself the question, would you like to be treated the way you are about to do with this dark feminine energy? Is this really clean energy? Or you are about to seduce someone to the transaction or whatever reason you are performing dark feminism? And the other question is, look yourself in the eye and see who you are. You don't need to pretend, just be. Be brave enough to show up and show yourself, because the world can only know you if you show yourself. Otherwise, you will be only a fraction of yourself, this act you are performing. So, if you want to be free, you need to show yourself and attract those things you are.
Yeah, I also believe that this is the only way to freedom. Hence the title of my program, Freedom to Be You.
Freedom to be you.
Well, I think this might annoy a lot of women out there, what you just said. But we live that with them. We say it, what we say it with all the love that we have for everyone.
Yes.
We don't want to annoy anyone. Um,
No, but also, I don't
But
want to annoy anyone, but also I don't want to be tricked by anyone because I rather, if I see you, I want to
yeah,
learn you. I want to get to know you and not the role you are playing. And I am willing to show up authentic as I am, but I would love to ask you to do the same.
yeah.
It might be
And it's,
confronting, but it is.
but it is. Okay.
So thank you, Marta, for this.
Thank you, Beata. It's always a great pleasure to have these conversations with you. Um, I think we are both learning a lot from it as well.
Of
And I
course.
hope our audience are learning too. And I think sometimes it's good to stir some stuff because when the water is still, nothing shows up. So
Yes.
sometimes it's good to stir the water. So it with all the love to everyone
And respect.
and respect, we love you and we would like to see you here again. So have a great day. Take care of yourself.
Bye.
Ooh.